This is Kai with Bombay Vodka. Today we have Bombay Vodka sponsor Lemonade Conversations, and we are interviewing Tory Edwards, Atlanta-based film producer extraordinaire. Mr. Edwards, can you tell us a little bit about yourself as we sip on some Bombay and lemonade?
I am a filmmaker. I am based in Atlanta. You said that, and I like Bombay.
Now, you've been on the scene working in Atlanta for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
I know you started off first like in the clubs with your own camera before. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, how you started out there and ended up where you are now?
Well, in Atlanta, I was definitely a part of the nightlife scene. I was a promoter. A lot of people came up, I won't say, I hate to use the term under, but a lot of people came up around the parties that I was doing. I had my man Precise there, DJ Mars, DJ Drama, Cannon, the whole affiliates before they kind of morphed into what they are today. They used to do my parties. That was like the first clubs they was doing, and I kind of, I was spending so much time out late, and I didn't want to do that, so I started transitioning into filmmaking. So I, just started teaching myself. Everything was self-taught. I had to make a change, so I did.
Now, you just dropped a lot of names that a lot of people know that got started in Atlanta, which leads me to ask you about your new movement, Atlanta Influences Everything.
Yep.
Can you tell us about that and how that came to be and just what it means?
Atlanta Influence Everything is really about Atlanta's creatives and what Atlanta has lent to culture over the past two and a half decades. And even longer than the past 2 decades. If you take it all the way back to my parents' time and civil rights and all of that, Atlanta was influencing the world just through the eyes of Dr. King and the people who marched with him. So I think Atlanta, to me personally, is like a microcosm for Black America, and because you can find people in Atlanta who are doing the worst and some of who are the most successful. So everything that you would want to find an example of to try to correct or inspire, you have it on, it's scalable, from A to Z in Atlanta. So I had a lot of people, I'm not from Atlanta originally, but I've been here long enough, I think, to stand proudly and say Atlanta does influence everything in terms of culture. So, that's debatable for some, but, it's a conversation piece. And we just want to support Atlanta creatives.
Is anybody from Atlanta out here?
No.
I don't think so
The
either.
people who, when you find somebody that's from Atlanta, you should take their picture, because it's not a lot of, there's a lot of natives, but the way the city is, man, we don't really, intersect like that, and I think we should.
The time period that you talk about was very influential and it's set where we are now. I like to refer to it almost as a renaissance.
Right.
Would you agree with that term?
Yeah, definitely, because it was nothing like it. There's nothing like Atlanta anywhere now, but, the time when I really started, being around the scene in Atlanta, when I first got here, I met Killer Mike. Like, Killer Mike was somebody I met within, like, the first year that I got to Atlanta. And we was, like, rapping in ciphers, and I heard about him, he heard about me, because I could rap. But I didn't really think I'd be doing what I'm doing now, honestly. I didn't see it for myself. What I'm doing now was probably something that I would have wanted to do, but I really didn't see it as attainable. But when you start to be in a place like Atlanta and you see people that you knew didn't have nothing going on, and now they're multimillionaires in media, entertainment, you say it's possible. Anything's possible.
How could you use your experience to give back to some of the youth that are in Atlanta now that might be at a place where you were, where they kind of had an idea or a passion but didn't necessarily know what to do with that?
I hate to say something cliche like keep working or be inspired, but I think the best thing for anybody who wants to do anything is to tell them to be a student of it, just to really kind of immerse yourself in whatever culture it is or whatever business or craft that you want to be involved in, and find out everything you can about it, read up on it, because, you know, honestly, if you really looking at the end result and wanting to be successful, the time is going to pass anyway. So the time that you waste dreaming about it, you could start training your mind to put it into action. I would tell people, just start saying you are the person that you want to be. I am a filmmaker. You know, you could be in high school, I'm a filmmaker. You know, or I am a doctor. I am whatever you want to be, and you start to make whatever moves necessary to become that. But it's all possible in this city. I think so.
I think so too. Speaking of action, what is your action plan for the next few years? What do you want to do with your business, with your movement? What is Tory Edwards doing moving forward?
Content, grow content, build the content studio, service all different platforms, online and television. Just be a storyteller. Be a master storyteller, because everything is stories. I don't care what it is. It's, if you're trying to sell anything or get a point across, start a movement, anything centered around social good or community-based organizations, storytelling is the most effective way to do any of that. And if I could become a better storyteller or build a company that specializes in telling stories, that's what I want to do.
Can you give us an example of how storytelling would look based on the way you would do it? Docuseries.
Yeah, I think all of that, man. I think, you start off with like a, documentary style, which that's really what I've been doing is documentary style. I shot some years ago, man, maybe 7 years ago, I did a short film with a group that called, they're not really as popular right now, but Travis Porter. And that was like, when we did it, it was a big thing, like for their fans. We sold out the center stage in Atlanta just to show the film. It was a premiere for the film. And that was me not really knowing anything, but just kind of being courageous and saying, fuck it. Can I curse?
I think
I
we're
did
good.
it already.
I think we're good.
Yeah, that's me saying, cool, let me just jump out and do it and figure it out on the way down. But documentary style storytelling, scripted storytelling, whatever it is, I just want to become a master at it, and I think I'm far from it at this point.
I've been seeing a lot and hearing a lot about people talking about Atlanta as like the new hub for filmmaking and being a part of that industry. Yep. And you've been here since the beginning. Mm-hmm. You've seen that growth. How do you feel about that? Do you think that this is the place to be for films moving forward?
Yeah,
Black Panther came out this weekend.
I think Atlanta is the place to be for anything creative, especially if you're African American. When I first started trying to enter in production, the most Atlanta had going on was music videos, but I was able to get into the actual business of film and television and learn so much from that. And I saw it expand. I saw it where we got a tax incentive and people was coming here to shoot films, to us being like, I think it's number 2 at this point in the world.
In the world, wow.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's number 2 in the world in film production, next to like Bollywood or something like that.
You said particularly for African Americans, what is the African American experience with film here? Is this a good place for African Americans to come? Why would you say that?
The honest answer to that is, it is the place for you to come if you're African American, but the experience is it's different tiers to it, but if we talk about film and television, because we produce a lot of films here, a lot of television here, from that standpoint, we're more crew members,
Right.
Yeah, and I've been blessed to work with some notable people in production, but they weren't operating out of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I worked on 2 projects with Oprah Winfrey. I got to work with Samuel L. Jackson. I got to work on Selma and work with Ava DuVernay and see how she works. And she's like one of the best directors I ever worked with. Mm-hmm. Beautiful, black, and she ran the set more so like she brought everybody in, and that's the first time where I really felt like a set was like family, and it made you want to go further. Made you want to offer more to it than just it being a job. But that's the black experience right now, is us being crew members, and few and far, few times we get to see, black people in charge. The show I'm working on now I'm working on the second season of a show called Star, which is like Queen Latifah and stuff like that, which is dope because I go to work and it's the executive producer knows my family, and the people who run my department, they don't understand why he comes and says what's up to me every day. He's the director and the executive producer, but my family been operating in this space in Atlanta before people were shooting films and television here, and he respected it, and we just cool. But to see Chris Robinson, like, damn, he came out the music video world. Look at him, he executive producing this. He just came off of the New Edition movie, and it was a crazy success. And to see Queen Latifah walking around and know that the type of movies that she has under her belt and television she has under her belt, she's been defining culture as an African American in that space, and she's still eating ramen noodles on set. She's still eating cup of noodles and keeping it hood. So to me, that's beauty.
Right.
I love seeing that. That's something to strive for. But if you ask me what's the real black experience, by and large, it's crew members, and I hate that because I want to be in charge. I want to be the person that when people see me coming, they start acting like they busy, start acting like, not like I would be that kind of leader, but I need to
be in that position to put other people in a position.
I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Why not? We all supposed to be.
Okay. All right. So can you tell us your social media accounts so everybody can start following you?
Check me out, Mapmakers, MAPMAKERS, one word. I'm on Instagram. That's probably where you're gonna see me.
What's up with the name Mapmakers?
Mapmakers is when you hear people talk about the law of attraction and just, I believe in those things. I think Mapmakers is that. It's like kind of your internal compass telling you which way to go, because I think what's sad is we all follow people. We always, even the nature and the culture of social media is be a follower. It's like words are powerful, you know. So you're like, I'm gonna follow this person. Nah, dog, follow yourself. It's something in you. It's purpose. It's divine purpose, and it's telling you to move a certain way. Nobody could be you. So it's about individuality. It's about following your own path and being a success at that.
And if I may, I think that you offer the map. You are making a map for others to not even just follow, but like you said, to be in the positions, to create those positions for other people coming up in the film industry. So thank you for that.
Thank you for
Mapmakers on Instagram.
Word.
Mr. Tory Edwards, Bombay sponsored, Lemonade Conversations.
Drink Bombay.